What's up, y'all? Making this on Conquerors Blade ranked, and kind of not like a how-to get the Grand Champion, but like a how I got the Grand Champion. Like basically, I ran this specific build to get here, and I credit me getting Grand Champ to this build. And that's why I was gonna share it on like what I did, right, on what I ran, on how I played, and everything I basically did to get here to give people like an idea. Like if you're stuck somewhere and you want to know like what the hell should you be doing, here's exactly what I was doing, and it worked for me. 100% worked for me. I call it a counter comp. That's like I should title it counter comp. That's what I've been running, and it was working really well for me. So I'm gonna just share that with everyone here. On what I was running, what I was doing, and why it worked for me. So yeah, I'm gonna split the video into different parts, and you'll see it, right? So I'm gonna start off with my first shit that I did. Okay, so the first thing is not something crazy or nothing specific. The other number 2 and 3 of this is gonna be a lot more specific, but the first thing here is if you can run Var Guards in your ranked games, like you don't understand, man, how many games have been won because your team has more Var Guards than the other team, and how many games have been lost because you don't have as many Var Guards as the other team does. Like, they are the #1 meta unit right now in ranked. Like, you're gonna see them all the time. Everyone has them, and they're really strong. They're really busted. These devs don't know how to balance shit, bro. Like, they are really strong, and that's why everyone runs them. You have to be a meta slave, and if look, you can get Grand Champ without Var Guards. People have gone Grand Champ without Var Guards, but like life was just so much easier with them. It's just a lot easier. You're gonna have an easier time if you do have them, but if you don't have them, this is why number 2 is gonna be very important in this video. So yeah, this is just number 1. There's just something small and basic. Run these guys if you can. Number 2 matters a lot more. Alright, so the second thing I do in my ranked games is I run a counter to the Var Guards. I know the first thing I said is to be bringing out Var Guards, bring out as many as you can. The second thing I do is I counter them. Alright, so the Huskarl unit, this unit right here, is a very strong counter against Var Guards. And they don't actually just win the trade right off the bat in like a regular melee. There's a specific way to do it, and I'll actually show you guys how it works. But yeah, it's this unit right here. They came out the same season as the Var Guards. And I actually made a video on them on how they work. Even if it isn't countering Var Guards, they're actually just a really strong unit in general in killing tier 5 infantry. For being a purple unit and being able to kill gold units, it's actually pretty crazy, and I'll show right here in this video of how to use them and how to counter. So, here in this video, right, it says this is a ranked match. In the bottom left, you see that my Huskarl units are reaching their 3rd stage. Basically, how the unit works, you could look at my video to see how they actually work, but basically, their 3rd stage is when they're at their strongest, and they get this little cool charge, the Huskarl charge. So, on the left, you see my unit right here. This is a fresh unit of gold Silhadars that just came out. Okay, they're a fresh unit. They're pretty much almost full HP. They just came out through that tunnel. I start moving my Huskarls to the enemy. I X them near them. I click their Huskarl charge, and they just wiped out 13 of a fresh unit of gold Silhadars just got wiped out by my Huskarls. And my purple unit of Huskarls took no losses. You can look at the bottom left. I didn't lose a single person. Right, so you could see how strong they are, and watch my video if you want to know how to use them properly. But the whole point is to get them to their 3rd form. Any gold unit that's just around there, you can just literally move your Huskarls up. If they're compacted like that, you see like they're pretty close. You click your Huskarl charge and you just wipe them all out. And that's a gold unit that's just gone like that. That's a gold unit that the enemy team can't use, anymore. It literally, like, it could really change the battle because you just wiped out a huge portion of the enemy's troops, right? And you took no losses. So how you use these Huskarls to counter the Var Guards is the same exact way. So what you literally do is you get them to their 3rd form, right? And you bring them up to the Var Guards, and you literally just use your Huskarl charge. But there's something important to know. The Var Guards, you can see like the Var Guards in the back right here. If they have their shields, and say you did this, right? Say you did the Huskarl charge, and they had their shields up, you won't win the trade. So this is why it's kind of tricky and really hard to pull off. You have to wait for the Var Guards to pull out their axes. So when the Var Guard unit, when they pull out their axes, and then if you use your Huskarl charge, your Huskarls will win the trade, and they'll actually kill the Var Guards. But if they have their shields up like this right here, and say you charged in with your Huskarl charge, you're not going to win the trade. You're actually going to lose. So basically, imagine these Silhadars are Var Guards with their axes out. They don't have their shields on. The Var Guards. Then you literally do what I just did. Just move your guys up, click one, and you absolutely dominate them. So the best way to use the Huskarl unit is get them to their third charge, the Huskarl charge, and in a fight, wait for the enemy Var Guards to pull out their axes. You don't wanna be first in the fight. You wanna wait in the back. And anyway, you're charging in the back already, so you wanna have them, charging up. And when you see an enemy unit pull out their Var Guards and have them take their axes out, that's when you throw your Huskarls in and charge in, and you'll wipe out that enemy, the enemy unit of Var Guards. So yeah, that's just the counter. And another, no, one important thing to know is that if you can wipe out a Var Guard unit, then the enemy team doesn't have, loses a Var Guard unit and your team has more. And then you're basically going to be winning games from just taking out these other Var Guard units. Another crazy thing is, in ranked, not many people run counters to Var Guards. I swear to God, in like all the games I've played, you'll probably find one person in every 5 games that knows how to counter a Var Guard unit or can properly counter it. And that being said, there are plenty of times where your Huskarl unit will actually, you're probably not going to like pull it off too successfully, but there are also plenty of times where you will be able to absolutely like turn the tides of an entire fight because you use your Huskarls really well. So that's the second thing I do. Watch my video on how to use them. I'll have that linked. Really strong unit. Alright, so the third thing I do in ranked is I run wolves, and I use them for a specific purpose. And the wolves are a pretty, common unit that you've definitely seen in Conquerors Blade. Everyone uses these wolves. In ranked, I feel like they're very, very, very strong if used properly. I use them as a specialized unit killer. So when the enemy team brings out stuff like Falconetti Gunners or Flamers or Archers, anything that's very annoying and could be very detrimental to the team, I have my wolves out to specifically counter them. And also, I run them just in case like there's a big fight going on and I die. I know I'm coming up because I'm spectating, right? If I see a big fight that's going on that's pretty even and winnable, I want to spawn in and quickly bring my wolves out instead of like a unit that's slow, that's not going to make it in time. I usually spawn in with my wolves. I rush there, and there's plenty of times where I'm actually able to like reinforce or like completely turn the tides because I managed to come in at the right time with my wolves and just win the fight, which normally would have been lost. So it's good to like be looking while you're spectating when you're dead and seeing like, oh shit, could I come right now with the wolves? Do I have enough time? And I'll show you in a video right here. In this case here, I actually did die. I see the fight going on here, right? Here, let me put this down. So yeah, there's this fight going on here in the middle, and I want to rush there as soon as possible. I think it's a winnable fight because I saw that we actually killed 2 people, 2 enemy heroes, and I saw that they had flamers. So I didn't want to. I wanted to deal with those flamers first and foremost. I had to kill them, right? They can be a real pain in the ass. I bring my wolves, and I see that like, oh shit, there's a lot of red, but like the units aren't that strong. And I see the flamers right there. The flamer units are in the midst of this, right? That's the whole goal, to kill them. I bring my wolves up. There's some flamers here stuck on the floors right here. Literally no problem killing them. We wipe out pretty much even the flamers at the top. It's not easy to see, but they were also wiped out by one of my wolves units and also another hero. And we kill the group of flamers, and also we get I think 2 hero kills. So this was done really quickly. Like I was spectating this. Well, maybe it was just 1 hero kill, but I was spectating the entire situation, right? And I saw that like, oh dude, there are flamers there. My team right there could use some help, and I could get there really quickly with wolves. And this is why I think the unit is so good in ranked, because you could quickly get to a place and really do some damage. The main thing is like wiping out those flamers. We don't know. I won this ranked match, and I don't know how significant those flamers would have been if we didn't kill them. Like maybe we would have lost at some point because they just had those flames burning down on us. But being able to like come quickly and just wipe out those flame units is a huge plus. That's why I'll bring them out. They're like my specialized unit killer, and also they're like my fast reinforcement like helpers. Like as soon as I can see a fight that like needs like someone to be there right now, I spawn in with them and I rush my ass over there. So that's why I also run the wolves. Alright. So like yeah, running the Var Guards. the Huskarls and the Wolves, whereas it's pretty much what I call a counter comp. Like it's the Var Guards are just really strong. The Huskarls are counters to Var Guards, and then the Wolves are just counters to specialized units. So like the entire point of the entire build is to pave the way for your team to win. Like all you're doing is you're countering the enemy team, so your team can hopefully pull through. That's just what I've been doing, and that's all I did to get the Grand Champ. I just kept on doing that, and I ended up winning more games than usual. At first actually I did Shield Maidens and Medaws, and that was like it was okay, but like I wasn't winning as many games as I would like to. It was kind of like going back and forth. It wasn't until I started doing this, in which I just kept on winning games and kept on going up in ranks. So yeah, that's just the comp I did. That's the steps I took, and it worked for me at least.